Hello, welcome to Everchosen. I lost my train of thought and now I can't speak. This is our D. This is our D. This is no, it really didn't. Immediately, this is our D&D show. Yes, this is the show. This is our D&D campaign thing. Oh, I don't know. Matt, announcements, please just take me out this.
Hi guys. What announcements do we have?
None.
We have. I think we finally set a date for the Dread one shot, which is now going to be a combination Halloween Christmas one shot. Still using the same monster that everyone voted for. I'm going to make that work, but that is going to be happening on the
11th
of December. The 11th of December. Time probably around 2 p.m. We will confirm that when we have confirmed with everyone. But the 11th of December has been confirmed for that date at last. And we are going to run that then. What else on earth else do we have to announce? Usual stream schedule. On Sunday we will be doing our GM's chat, and on Tuesday we will be back on again with Homebrew Labs doing our next episode, which will be a magic item. Lot of new members in the community recently, so any of you guys who might stumble upon this stream now or in the future, welcome aboard. We're glad to have you all. It's excited to see so many people kind of jumping in recently, and a bunch of new games going up quite recently as well. So a lot of stuff going on, a lot of fun. I don't think we really have any other announcements outside of that though. So
nope.
I'm running games now.
Oh, Isabel is our latest Wayfarer's official GM.
Were you going to say latest convert? Because that would be hilarious.
I was trying to find a way to...
Are we a cult now?
Yes, we are the cult of Steve.
You're not meant to say we're a cult.
Wait, we're a cult?
First rule of being a cult, never say you're a cult.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just joking, guys.
Sorry to all of our new members. You're in a cult now. Welcome.
Yes.
I thought we were using the term commune because it was more communal than cult.
Yes. Not really doing much to dissuade the all D&D is a path to Satanicism thing.
They said the same thing about metal, and that's not a path to Satanism.
It's not. God damn it, I'm in the wrong hobby. Sorry, guys.
I'm leaving.
Yeah.
It's just Katie's face. Just, oh dear.
For the love of
Satanism,
God.
that's how we started this.
For the love of God, let's recap.
Yes. Let us recap last session. There's not much to recap actually, as you guys basically
we all fucked up real bad.
Had a big old fight with Velcon the Everchosen, who showed up at the end of the previous session, quite uninvited.
At least we finally know what Everchosen is.
You guys had a big old fight with him. Hubert, slightly confused about what his objective may or may not have been, decided to attack the Divine Lock, which seemed to please said Everchosen as he destroyed it. And yeah, left you guys kind of fucked up. And with the Divine Lock destroyed, he bamped out with a cryptic parting message to Kez, saying that he would say hi to his parents for him. And yeah, with that, you guys made your way out of the Divine Lock chamber, out following one of the other passageways of that central chamber, and came out onto one of the rocky beaches that surround the Isle of Ruska. And you guys kind of stood there for a moment, just taking in what had gone on as it slowly begins to rain. And that is where we pick up.
We were still inside the tunnel. We'd gone to the waves to the east. West.
Yeah, which had led you out onto this beach.
But maybe we wanted to go back and see what was behind the crown door.
Maybe.
That was the last door, wasn't it? Or do we just want to get out of here?
I want to leave. I don't like it here. It's too hot and too sandy.
I mean, we need to go back and get...
Too bloody painful.
That's it.
So we left him at the house.
I can probably get us out of here tomorrow.
Is there any visible towns, any sort of visible civilization anywhere?
Not really. No, you guys are kind of, you're the beach you're on kind of backs onto a cliff, and in front of you it's just ocean.
We can put the hut up. We can sleep, and then we can go.
Marina, you put your hut up. You can take a long rest.
What about BC?
BC's with you.
No, we left him at the house in Halftown. We told him to stay behind.
That is right. Do you guys want to head back to Halftown and pick up BC?
Hubert will insist. In fact, we'll be quite panicked that BC isn't there.
Okay. That's easy enough. You guys head back through the tunnel and make your way now through the ruined doorway out onto the bridge. You don't hear any chittering sound. In fact, as you cross it, it's eerily silent. And you make your way about the mile or so back to Halftown and the ruined house. BC is still there, kind of just lying on one of the ruined tables, asleep.
Easy life being a cat.
Yep.
All right.
They don't have to worry about anything.
Do you put the hut up in the house?
Yeah, we'll put the hut up in the house to be safe.
Yeah, Hubert picks up BC and just like holds him.
Okay.
It's probably like his 2 feet like over his arm.
Okay.
And so his head is just like
you put up the tent and you take a long night's rest. Marina.
Oh God.
As you fall asleep that night, your dream is that of chaos. You kind of start, it's one of chaos and madness. You see one by one the divine locks shatter and break, and every time one of them does, the earth seems to shake and boil as if it's alive almost. And when the final one shatters, everything suddenly becomes very still. There is an enormous flash of white. And as you look up over this, over the landscape, you see far, far to the north and across the frozen dragon sea, a bright light, blinding, searing. And you realize with a horrible, sickening realization that the Infinity Gate, the divine gateway and portal that keeps back the gods, both light and dark, and keeps the outer planes from colliding with the inner planes, has been thrown open. And everything that it's holding back starts to pour through it. You see fiends of all kinds crawling over one another to tear at anything living on the other side. You see giant elemental titans awaken and battle on plains and across icy oceans. The calamity come again, and the world is helpless. And you awake, sweating, panicked, with this vision of a possible future.
Marina probably wakes up and kind of takes a second and looks around to kind of remind herself where she is. And whilst everyone is sleeping, she's just going to kind of slip away.
Okay.
Which immediately dispels
There's the dome.
because as soon as she leaves it goes down. But we're inside, so it's not quite as bad.
Okay.
But yeah, she kind of immediately tries to slip away and just kind of sit outside the room on her own for a bit.
Okay. Kez,
Yep.
you too have a dream, a vision. As you fall comfortably to sleep inside Marina's dome, sore, aching from the fight you've just had, the words that were spoken to you last keep playing over and over in your head. Parents, parents, parents. And it kind of just echoes in your mind as you drift off to sleep. And as you do so, you find yourself in a familiar surrounding. The kind of the black obsidian stoned wall of the maze. You kind of look down and you see that you're your younger self, maybe 4 or 5 years old. And you're surrounded by people. There's about maybe 40 to 50 other people around you, all smiling and talking, all wearing kind of this strange, black, shiny, slightly chitinous armor. And as you kind of wander amongst these people, they all look down and smile at you. And you approach the 2 people at the front, a man, kind of mid-30s, and a woman, similar age, brown, blonde hair. And they look down at you, and the man kind of ruffles your head, and you can't quite make out what they're saying, but they seem to be talking to one another. And you feel safe. This is your family. And as this kind of scene starts to play out, another figure approaches you and your parents. Slightly broader, slightly taller. And he seems to get into an argument with your father. And at the height of this argument, there is an explosion somewhere. And as the explosion happens, one of the doors that you see just off flies open. And you, either pushed or blown back by the explosion, you're not quite sure, fall through it and find yourself on the side of a mountain. And as you hit the cold snow, you are jerked awake by the sudden feeling of cold. And you see that you are no longer within the dome. You're still surrounded by your friends in the house, but the dome is gone, and Marina's no longer amongst you.
Okay, I'll get up. Quietly, go outside.
Marina's just sat like on whatever's there to sit on and is just full on crying. And she probably doesn't even notice you walk in.
Marina?
Yes.
What's up?
It's a bad day.
Couldn't sleep.
Real bad nightmare. I fucked up everything. I messed it all up.
There's nothing we could do. Not in the face of whatever that was.
He wouldn't have been there if I hadn't screwed around with that crime lord asshole guy that Frey used to work for.
Well, we don't know that, but also we were doing our job. That's the only way we could find this gate.
We could have found it another way, but we would have found it eventually. I'm sure we would have. But I had to go and try and be, I don't know. And then he led the guy straight down to us.
He already knew where the gate was.
He didn't know we were there.
Sorry?
Did he know that we were there? If he already knew where the gate was, he then fine. But why didn't he open it before? Why didn't he break it before? Because I don't know. I can't help but think that if I had just kept my mouth shut and let you guys or Frey or Maris, someone who actually does the talking stuff, take care of that, it would have gone differently. And now all I'm seeing.
And then maybe he would have found out that we were after it and got there long before us, and then we wouldn't have had any of the knowledge we gained from that fight. We wouldn't know what we were up against or what we need to prepare for.
I don't know.
We did what we could with the knowledge and information that we had.
Right.
It didn't work out, but that's not on us.
No, because we didn't have enough knowledge and information. And that's what I bring to the table, right? I just feel really shitty about it all. And now I'm having more prophetic nightmares, and they're getting worse, because whatever we did and whatever this guy did has fast-tracked everything, and doesn't even matter if we get the others. Because one was enough to let something through. One was enough that these people on Ruscombe, I don't think they're going to make it through this. And I know there's a lot of bad people here, but there's just people here. I'm a library researcher. I don't know how to do this stuff. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. And I'm scared. But I can't stop, and I can't back out now. I can't, because we're in it.
Yeah, it's on us.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. It's up to us.
It's on us.
And I mean, this is our first real failure.
Yeah. And it was...
And that's gonna suck.
It was so bad. It was such a bad failure. We fail and people are gonna die.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And we have to be strong, and we have to realize that, and do better.
It sounds so easy.
It's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. But we're a great team.
Up until then, we did all right. Yeah.
We need to get some sleep.
Yeah. I need to sleep. I need to sleep. We need to get out of this place. I can't do that if I don't sleep. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Oh. Yeah.
I think they'll seem better in the morning.
Doubt that. But
let's see.
Keep moving forward. Yeah, she'll get back up and go back in with the group to sleep.
Okay. You both get back in.
Mm-hmm.
After a while, both managed to find some quiet sleep amongst the group. And with that, the rest of you wake up just as the sun is cresting the horizon. It's warm. The ocean breeze brings a little bit of chill to the island, but it's a pleasant day.
All right. Anything else that people want to do here before we get the hell out?
Oh, I want to leave. Don't like it here. Can't drink. Let's fuck off.
Does it feel different? Does
No. Not really. Yeah. Nothing feels too different. There's no strangeness in the air.
Where can we go?
Oh, I need to buy some chalk.
Okay. Halftown is populated, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's slightly more it's a slightly more industrial town than Old Ruscombe. It looks to be mainly made up of factory type buildings. You see kind of small chimney stacks that plume slightly acrid smelling smoke into the air. Frey, you would know that this is primarily a drug manufacturing town. It is what they make. But there are kind of general stores and things where you can buy basic supplies. And Marina, you don't find it too difficult to pick up some chalk.
Oh no, I need like special chalk.
That might be slightly more tricky.
Yeah.
As most of the chalk here is just regular chalk.
Yeah, I need like 50 gold's worth of rare magically infused chalk.
Of what?
I need rare chalks and inks infused with precious gems worth 50 gold, which the spell consumes.
Oh, good.
What on
We
earth?
might have to go back to Old Ruscombe.
We might have to go back to Old Ruscombe to buy those.
Wouldn't it just be easier to take a boat? Just find a boat and go.
Well, it'll probably take a few days in the boat, and then we've got to go by land. If I can get the chalk, I can get us there today.
All right, let's go get the chalk.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys spend all of the morning and a little bit of the afternoon walking back to Old Ruscombe. You pay I think I said it was like 5 silver to ride the elevator back down. And
For the first time, as she's walking around, Freya's gonna like tentatively put her hood down.
Okay.
Which is something she has not done in 5 years.
Free, your hair is like long.
Yeah, it's not really do anything with it, so it just keeps growing. I guess is that how hair works. Do you think we should tell them that? Do you think we should tell them that Sandown's dead?
I'm pretty sure they know.
Hang on, I think the phone's ringing. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay. Pretty sure they know. He was with them before. Made it pretty clear that he wasn't going to send anyone away, so I don't imagine any of them are left at this point.
Stopped ringing. It probably wasn't important.
It's weird as you look around, as you kind of travel through the town. It doesn't look like much has changed. Until that is you reach the area around Arcadia. The 3 tall towers that make up the headquarters of the Silent Hand. And as you kind of walk tentatively around this area, you see that it is a hub of chaos. You see people sweeping up bits of broken glass and splinters of wood. You see You catch the two big kind of doors that lead into the main bar where you met Sandown have been ripped off their hinges and kind of lie either side. You can see that there looks like there was some kind of fire high up in the tower's upper floors. It looks like something went down here very recently.
Frey's gonna try and get inside if she can.
Okay. I'm guessing without being seen.
No, she's just gonna try and push her way in.
Okay. Most people are kind of occupied with cleanup. And as you make your way inside, you see the bar is a mess. There are tables broken in half and chair splinters everywhere. The tall kind of 2-story bar that Arcadia is famous for, the top half is kind of crumpled in and kind of rests kind of half dangling in front of the lower half. The booth where Sandown typically sits is dark red with dried blood, and it kind of goes up the wall.
Are there any bodies or anything?
There are 1 or 2 bodies still around, but there are lots of dark patches of blood where it looks like people have just died.
I will search the bodies and sort of see if I can tell how long they've been dead, whether if they're still warm or whether it's dried.
Okay, make a medicine check.
I think Frey just goes pale and is now leaning against the nearest wall.
Sorry, what was that? It's pretty obvious how some of these have kind of massive gash wounds, as if made by some kind of glaive. 1 or 2 are completely kind of crumpled into a ball, as if compressed by some huge force. Most of these bodies, the ones that you can kind of tell are bodies, look to have died within the last 24 to 48 hours.
This is where he got to before he got to us. Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Seems we got off lightly.
Speak yourself. Yeah.
Frey's just standing there staring at the middle of the room and like just sort of frozen for a minute.
Not as if they were good people, but that's not a way for anyone to go.
Hey, you're right. Oh, well, no sense in letting good liquor go to waste. Hang on, I'm going to check the bar for anything.
There is no liquor.
There is no liquor left.
All of the bottles have either been destroyed or are empty.
Now it's personal.
Yeah, now it is personal. They killed everyone. That's fine, but they've nicked everything.
Like it doesn't look like anything's been stolen from the bar. It just looks like everything's either been broken or emptied.
So they've come in, killed everyone, broken a bunch of shit, drunk a bunch of shit, and left. Case solved.
I can't believe this is real. This was my home. This was everything I knew.
Well, you got us now. We'll try and measure up.
Well, I mean, you're not a gang of murdering drug dealers, so that's a plus, but...
Bree, as you're kind of standing there in the middle, a female halfling hooded and cloaked kind of slowly approaches you. And if she takes down her hood, you recognize her. She's one of the gang members. She doesn't look cross, just sad. And she goes, "He protected you to the end."
What do you mean?
We all saw the conversation. Some guy, big guy, came in asking for you. Sandan told him to get fucked. Said something about the deal was off and that his family was off limits.
Actually looking for Frey. I point at her.
Well, he said something about looking for you and your compatriots.
Okay.
He should have turned me in. Not you guys, of course. You know I wouldn't ask him to do that, but I mean, look at this.
She kind of
All the people who died. I'm not worth that.
like half smiles. Some of us thought that when the fighting started. Some of us thought, why is he doing this? Why did he do this? But in the end, we all knew family was more important to Sandan than anything. And despite how fucked he was and how fucked up this is, this was his family. And he would have done anything to protect it.
There was a long time where I thought of him as my family. I'm just surprised that he never let that go. Well, surprise, we all know Sandan.
Exactly. Anyway, just thought you should know that despite everything, he never betrayed you. Now, if I were you, I'd get the fuck out before some of those that thought he should turn you in find out that you're still here, because, well, we all know how fucked this life can be. And she kind of turns and walks off, kind of shouting at a few people to get shit cleared up.
Frey, do you know anywhere around here we can get some magic stuff?
Would I know anywhere?
You'd know of a few places that kind of deal in arcane things. The closest to here would probably be Ellie's Oddities.
Yeah, I know a place.
Let's go get some ink and chalk and let's get out of here.
Following Free, you find yourselves coming to a kind of a semi-collapsed building with no windows. There's a red curtain across the door. And as you enter, inside is dimly lit by candles. And shelves stacked high with all manner of items. Just glance around, you see some are magical, some are not magical. You gather most of this stuff is probably stolen. and as you enter, a little bell tinkles, and an ancient gnome kind of appears from behind one of the shelves, and she goes, "Ah, customers, come. What can Ellie do to help you?"
Just I need some chalk and some ink for creating teleportation circles.
Oh, not an easy find out here, but I think I might have something. Let me see here. And she kind of puts on a pair of wire-rimmed spectacles and just starts chucking stuff off shelves. She goes, "No, not here, not there. Hold on, let me see if it's around here." And you hear more kind of like clattering until you finally hear her. "Ah, yes, no, here it is." And she pulls out a little red leather case about that big. And she kind of blows the dust off it and clicks it open. And inside you see 4 little sticks of chalk and a small little bottle of ink. And she goes, I knew I had some around here somewhere. I can part with the set, the whole thing for, let's say 100 gold.
Okay, that's fine.
Ah, excellent. You're my new favorite customers. No haggling or anything. It's nice. And she kind of closes it and hands it to you. Takes your 100 gold. And she goes, "Is there anything else? I have some other strange and wonderful oddities from around the continent."
Such as?
Well, I have this, oh, yes, I have this wonderful bag. And she kind of plumps what looks to be a bag of holding on the table. And she goes, "But this is no ordinary bag. For you see inside," and she kind of opens it and reaches in and pulls out a little glass orb, about that big, and weighing about a pound. And she goes, "Inside is all manner of things. Everything from small little glass orbs to little pieces of rock and stone. I call it, I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's like a bag of oddities and strange little things."
What the hell do those things do?
Well, I mean, they're just things, really. I had one person come in and said it's just a bag of junk, but he was very uncultured. She seems very excited about this.
Can I reach my hand in and
Okay.
I pull out?
Okay. You reach your hand in, and you pull out a rock about that big and weighing about a pound.
Is it just a rock?
Consider me underwhelmed, and I'll just drop the rock back in the bag.
So Hubert sees like she's really excited about it, and he'll be like, "How much?"
For this, this fine little item here is going for 250 gold.
Oh, Hubert no have 250.
Oh.
Yes, you do, Hubert. It's just in the bank.
No, Hubert. No, he doesn't.
I like how Hubert went, "I don't," and Kez went, "Yeah, you do," and everybody was like, "No, no, you don't."
Let's not let the child buy the bag of rocks.
It's not just rocks. I mean, she kind of like fiddles around. She pulls out what looks to be a glass jar filled with nails. I mean, it's all kinds of things. I mean, I reach in every now and then and pull out all sorts of strange and wonderful items.
Hubert will be like, and he like pulls out his bag that has his coin in and just dumps it out and says, You take this much.
How much gold do you have?
178.
178.
But like Hubert doesn't know off the top of his head how much gold is in there.
She kind of looks. She goes, I mean, you seem like a fine fellow, and you seem very eager to take this item. Okay, no, we can do that. And she kind of like scoops the gold into like a little drawer, and just hands you the bag.
And Hubert just is holding it like he's rarely, if ever, makes purchases on his own, probably for good reason.
Because you just bought a bag of rocks.
No.
Rocks?
Maybe not.
Katie, you have just purchased an item I like to call Meldred's bag of junk. It is a bag with an interior space, roughly 2 feet in diameter and a mouth 4 feet deep. It looks very much like a bag of holding. Though the interior of the bag is full of small pieces of junk weighing no more than 5 pounds. And no matter how much you pull out of it, it will never run out of this kind of junk. And it is just a bag filled with, it is a bag filled with junk.
And now every time you pull something out, Feargus needs to figure out what's inside.
That's fine.
Can you upend it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Does it not stop flowing?
That's all Hubert wants to do is like upend it to see really what's in there.
Does it not end?
Do you upend it?
Not in here.
Okay.
Hubert is more like, how big is this thing?
I mean, it's literally the same dimensions of a bag of holding.
Okay.
It is just filled with junk.
He attaches it.
Junk.
He attaches it to his belt.
Okay. That's easy enough.
And we'll explore it at a later date.
Oh goodness!
I'm so glad we have that bag.
Who has the main bag?
Marisk has the main bag of holding, doesn't he?
I think so.
Frey has one as well, I think.
Ah,
yeah.
Do I? Did I get the bag?
Because we gave you something to.
You gave me the keystones. That's all I've had.
Okay, no, so maybe Marisk does have the bag of
holding. Yeah, no,
Marisk trust me with the bag of holding.
Marisk has the bag of holding because you discussed giving it to Frey, and she was like, "Don't give me the bag of holding.
Yeah.
It will end badly."
Hubert now has 0 gold.
Yeah.
On that
I've
note
got 400 gold left.
Frey's gonna walk up to the counter and she's like, "So I have a thing going on with like magic birds. Do you have anything along those lines?" I'm thinking like a crow or an eagle, that kind of thing.
Birds? How do you mean?
Oh no.
She summons the chickens.
Can you roll me a D100?
Yeah.
Oh no.
39.
Hold on, I just need to double check my my cheat sheet because I've forgotten what a 39 does.
To be honest, I don't know the new version.
No, because I'm keeping the new version very close to the chest.
Yes, I figured that out.
Okay.
I'm just using 1 charge, so aiming for 30 chickens.
Okay. You point the wand at the ground, and you kind of do the little flourish that normally summons 30 chickens. Instead of 30 chickens, it's this kind of iridescent rabbit with like huge fey ears, and it kind of what little light there is in here when it catches on this rabbit's fur, it kind of looks rainbow-esque. And as it materializes, it looks around as if it's surprised, looks to you, and you hear in your head, where the fuck am I?
Okay, guys,
and
what the hell?
Who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck are you?
Wow, you're the one that summoned me.
Wait, you can understand me?
Free, are you talking to
Yes.
the rabbit?
The rabbit's talking to me.
Okay.
The
This
rabbit
never
is
usually
looking
happens.
around the room,
This usually
very
ends up with chicken.
confused.
This is
Ellie's
fucking
loving
weird.
this. Ellie's got like a massive smile across like her wrinkly face, and she's just, she's like, oh my, that is interesting. I can give you 200 for it.
Yeah, we'll sell it to you.
Oh, I'm not selling this. I'm asking if you have something like this.
Oh no,
More
nothing as
chaos.
intriguing as that.
Why is there a fucking rabbit?
Who summoned it?
As you look down and say rabbit, he's like, excuse me, I'm not a rabbit, and he vanishes again.
That was fucking weird.
Okay, I know we're on an island full of drugs, so did I just imagine that?
Nope, that thing was definitely
No,
there. The talking,
happened.
maybe.
I mean, I could hear it in my head, and that's very disconcerting. Because that's the kind of thing Kez can do, and not me.
Right.
I can't talk in your head.
I can talk in your head.
I can
Don't.
talk, but not many people like it when I do. Yuck! Can we get out of here, please?
Hang on 1 moment. Do you have any spell scrolls?
I'm afraid I'm fresh out.
Okay, that's fine. Just wanted to, just in case. I got nothing else. Anyone else want anything?
No, this is all definitely.
Let's
Yeah,
find
I
a quiet place where I can set up the circle then.
Okay. You guys head out of Eddie's oddities, with your chalk and ink, and with your bag of junk. And
Can you just chuck the world map up real quick on the?
yeah, I can chuck the world map up.
Cheers.
There we go.
Cheers.
And yeah, you guys find a quiet place just outside of Old Ruscombe. Where is it you would like to go?
Well, we're trying to get to Linrel next. I think was that one of them.
Yes, I can give you all of the places.
Okay.
Hold on. So the places where the major locks are that are left are Linrel, Kirk's Ground, and Ironwood.
Linrel, Kirk's Ground, and
Ironwood. And there is one in Novigrad, but you're guessing that one's fairly well protected.
Yeah. Well, we can get. See, I can get us to Nassar, which is quite close to Linrel. I can get us to Port Delanquoir, which is fairly close to Kirk's Ground. I don't think there's anywhere else nearby. And I can get us
Can't
to...
go there directly?
No, I don't have any of these places on the circles, but I can get us to like the nearest cities. So I can get us to Nessar, Port Delanquoir, and I will also be able to get us to Gwaith, which is a bit closer to Ironwood. So, I guess, which one do people want to do first?
Start the top and work down.
Great. Can you also get us to Novigrad?
I can get us to Novigrad.
I was thinking we hit the closest one.
But,
Okay.
but
What's it setting there now?
Novigrad's being protected by Master Tavern.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering.
So, but I can get us back there. That's easy enough.
But where else do you have?
I have Nassar, Port Delanquoir, and Gwaith, which are the closest ones to the places we need to get to. I also have Freyam, Nushan, Ran, and Kashav.
Freyam,
Nushan. Freyam, Nushan, Ran, and Kashav. But
Where
I
are
think
they?
Ran and Kashav
They are not on
different-
they are not on this map.
Yeah, they're a different continent.
They are on.
How did you get these specific places?
Found them somewhere at some point. We found a
So you've got
book of
most of them from one witch's house.
Oh, from
Yeah, we got it from De Silva.
Yeah,
De
De
Silva
Costa's. Yeah,
house. The De Costa house,
one
yeah.
Villa de Costa.
Is it De Costa?
Yes.
Where roughly are the last two that aren't on the map? Throw them on.
So the last two would be, you guys wouldn't know this, but they would be further. They would be further west. They'd be.
Oh, it's a different continent entirely.
Yeah, it's completely. Yeah, they're across the beaten ocean on a different continent.
So yeah, just which one do we head to first?
I bet we go to Linral, but
Can do Linral.
Will we be? I mean, we're currently at war with the Nathari Empire. If you want to prepare,
not at war,
look
the
slightly
North
less
is-
northern.
We might want to hide our right of passage from the Queen, but
And can you do a less northern accent?
No. No, I don't think I can.
I
Can
would.
you keep your mouth shut?
No. Hang on, let me try something. Hang on. I can maybe try to get away with something like this.
Can you keep your mouth
That's
shut?
worse.
Probably best, John, if you and I just don't speak much when we get there.
Let's start with the closest.
I mean, close, because we now have access to teleportation magic, close is relative.
Yeah, but for other people who might not have that access,
Right.
and head them
But-
off the cliff. I don't know how giant scary dude moves.
Bloody quickly.
Yeah, I imagine he probably has access to more magic than I do.
Hmm.
But we can go wherever, but it's like
We could split up.
That's a bad idea.
No,
We-
Doing
no.
Linral
Oh, guys.
Never a good idea.
it would be like being able to time travel and then worrying about being late. Like distance for us now is going to be relative because each time we can just teleport to the nearest city to wherever we need to go. We may have to talk our way out of things when we get there because most of these teleportation circles are like official.
I can handle the talking.
I mean,
I don't really think it's the accent with me. It's just the fact that I don't really look very southern.
Well,
Alright,
someone has a
then,
disguise
mate.
kit.
well, the Grand Northern Alliance is currently at war with the Nassari Empire. Where does the Kingdom of Rista stand on all of that?
Make a history check.
Screw it. I will. I'll portent it and give myself a 24.
Okay. You would know that the Kingdom of Rista and the Nassari Empire are kind of old enemies.
So Rista probably wouldn't be as unfriendly to us if we're northern.
No, however, Rista has also gone to war with several of the northern kingdoms before, but nowhere near as much as the Empire has.
So everyone hates everyone.
Yep.
Sounds like a normal day.
Yeah, it's sort of a
Pretty
sort
much
of
the history of the world.
everybody doesn't like anybody else. Some people dislike each other more than others. Like with a 28, you would know that the Kingdom of Rista was once a part of the Nasari Empire, and then it broke away, and so those two are old enemies.
So here's my thinking. We just went through hell. Maybe let's not teleport behind enemy lines straight away after that.
Okay, so which one we're heading to then?
That's the question. Is Port Delanquois part of the Nasari Empire, or is it part of Rista?
Port Delanquois is one of the free trade cities. It has no allegiance either way. It is
okay. So Port Delanquois actually probably be a safe bet, and then we can just travel on foot from there to Kirk's Ground. And
yeah.
All right. That's it.
All right.
Yes.
Marina will take out her chalk and her inks and take the next minute drawing out this intricate pattern of arcane runes on the ground. And as she kind of gets to right near the end of the incantation and the inscription, she just looks at everyone and goes, all right, when this thing opens, everyone jump through real quick because it's only going to be open for like 6 seconds.
Okay.
While Marina's drawing the circle, Frey is going to be carving something onto her quarterstaff, and when Marina says that, she's just like, oh shit, and put the dagger back in her boot and get ready to jump.
And Marina finishes off the last line of the inscription on the ground. The runes all flare up in light, and a swirling portal opens up, which immediately jumps into.
Okay. Do you all follow her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As one by one you follow Marina into this swirling vortex, you will feel yourselves being kind of pulled and the wind is knocked out of you. And for a moment, you feel breathless until suddenly you are returned to the material plane. And as you one by one come through this portal, you all arrive in a large, actually strangely familiar room. The floor made from soft green grass that seems to stretch out into the horizon. And around you, you see 6 hollowed out trees, each one seemingly containing a different teleportation circle, with you standing in a 7th. And as you look out, you see kind of off to your right, there's a door, just kind of freestanding. The sky above is twilight. It's sort of, you can see kind of magical fireflies kind of like buzz and hum in the air, and it's a pleasant space to be in. You kind of,
your favorite.
Were we meant? I've lost track of the plan. Are we meant to be here?
Yeah, where the fuck are we?
This looks very familiar to
Wizard's house.
Yeah, this looks almost identical to the teleportation room in Vila da Costa's house.
Did she create her own network of teleportation circles? I mean, that's really useful if she did, but I kind of expected it to be in like a government building or something.
So The 6 other teleportation circles, what did they say?
They have the name. They have. It is Nushan, Freyam, Nisar, Gwaith, and then the other 2. Whose names I don't have in front of me. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Ran, Kashav, and there was
Yeah.
Novigrad. Is that not there?
No, Novigrad is not there. Novigrad is not one of them.
Okay. Wow.
Because you got the Novigrad one from
Oh, I got that
from Master
Master
Tavern
Tavern,
himself.
yeah.
Yeah.
Of course I did. Okay. So can I just check the circles and see that they match up with the ones that I have?
Okay. No, they are different.
The different circles are different to the ones that I've got in the book. Okay. Huh. This is weird.
So where the hell are we? Are we in What's Its house?
No.
Or are we in somewhere that looks like What's Its house?
Should be near Port Delacour.
Sorry, I've completely confused you guys, and I'm so sorry. The teleportation circle for Nisar and Freyam would not be there. They would be they would not be there at all. I was reading my wrong notes, I'm so sorry. So the teleportation circles in the room that you can see are just Nushan, Gwaith, and then the 2 that were on the different continent. There would only be 4, not 6. 4.
Okay, so this isn't Thingy's house.
No, it doesn't.
But it looks like it.
Yeah, it like the room and the aesthetics are the same. But there's 2 teleportation circles short, and the layout is slightly different. But it's the same kind of general aesthetics.
Bray just sits on the ground like this is too confusing for me.
So have we got to where we were thinking we were getting to?
I don't know. Check the door.
Stick my head out the door.
Okay. You stick your head out the door and you find yourself on a very well decorated, carpeted landing. You can kind of hear very, very faintly the sound of seagulls coming from outside. And you kind of hear the calling of what seems like house staff. But it looks to be like you're in a house.
Cookies.
Trying.
Nothing.
I see what you're trying to do.
Let's have a look. Well, if this is DaCosta's house, let's maybe have a look around quickly before trying to find a way out.
Well, this is... I don't think we're in DaCosta's house. I think we're in a similar room at...
Well, if no cookies arrive, then I don't think so either.
No,
No cookies arrive.
we're not in DaCosta's house then.
Ooh.
Do you leave the
Yep.
teleportation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting out of here. This place is like doing my head.
Yeah.
There's as you leave the room, you appear again on a landing, what appears to be on the 3rd floor of a very beautiful home. The kind of the wood paneling that you see seems to be engraved and embossed with various sort of plant-like features, like vines growing around it. The doors are all beautifully carved, and you can indeed hear the sound of a house staff. You hear somebody shout, "Mistress wants tea in the garden. Make sure it's set up. Come on now, chop chop. Let's go." And then you hear like somebody climbing a set of stairs.
we go subtle, or do we make ourselves known?
Oh, John and I don't do well as subtle.
I would rather make myself known so as not to alarm them.
Yeah, especially if
Yeah.
there's a chance we might be able to get permission to use this one again.
Good enough. I'll just shout, "Hello! Anyone there?"
There's a pause and silence before you hear a, "Who goes there? Who are you?"
There appears to be some confusion. I think we're in a slightly different place to where we were expecting. Our apologies for our intrusion. Mr. Costa gave us permission.
Make a deception check.
Shouldn't I be the one doing
Oh,
this?
please pull this off.
14.
As you say that, you see a gnome come to the top of the stairs, dressed in a very, very nice, fine, kind of like a butler's outfit. And he kind of looks at all of you and he goes, "You say Miss DeCosta gave you permission?"
Yes, we were expecting to end up in Port Delinquoir, and this isn't. Is this Port Delinquoir?
You are in Port Delinquoir, yes.
Oh.
Though
Well, that's
Oh, that's perfect.
Well,
not really-
okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we
Off we go
didn't
then, come on,
expect to
guys.
end up in this property, and we do apologise for alarming you. We are no intention of stealing anything, and we just.
he kind of looks at all of you and goes, How did you get my mistress's circle?"
From her property in. What was the name of the place, Marina?
It's on the way to Midtown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
In Midtown.
We fought ghosts as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very helpful ghost.
Yeah.
Fed us well.
The door was particularly helpful.
I meant the ghost
Ah.
town we went through to find DeCosta's.
Maybe
Oh
not-
yeah, we did, didn't we? Yeah.
Let's not confuse the matter more than anything. We acquired the teleportation circle in a house owned by Mr. Costa up near Midtown.
Ah,
I didn't realize that it actually led to like a private property. We figured it was like an official one in the city.
if you wouldn't mind coming with me, I'm sure my mistress would love to hear the tale.
She's
Mr.
here.
DeCosta?
Costa's here?
Who is your Mistress Vila da Costa?
You wouldn't mind following me.
Okay.
I thought she was lost in a time warp or something.
We
I
could,
must admit, I did think she was no longer with us.
Yeah, I thought she was dead.
I thought she just travelled back in time or exploded herself in a
Yeah.
radiomancer accident.
yeah, let's go and actually see her and stuff.
Yeah. I'm keen. Let's go.
Yeah.
We don't need to
Did
speculate.
we bring her journal? Did we bring?
Yeah,
any of her-
I have her notes
You've
in
got
her journal.
You've got her journal and her notes.
Yeah.
There we go, problem solved. Or I'll just turn her into a chicken because I have polymorph.
And the gnome leads
Pretty
you.
high level wizard.
Yeah.
She
Of my
invented
bad
don't
time.
care.
She invented time
He doesn't
travel.
think that far ahead, guy.
The gnome leads you down 2 sets of stairs, and the house you're in is beautiful. It looks to be some sort of manor house, and he leads you out through a glass conservatory and out into this beautiful garden, and it's warm here. You are the furthest south any of you have ever been, and it shows. It is, it is very warm here.
John's uncomfortable. He doesn't like the heat. He's really uncomfortable.
But you can see the outside of the house, even the back, is painted this kind of iridescent, almost sea green color. And the butler leads you to a small covered area where a female elf is sitting in a beautiful silk dress. And he kind of goes up to her and whispers something in her ear. And she looks up and looks at all of you and smiles and just goes, "Thank you, Bernard. Please bring my guests some tea. Come, sit. All of you, I would like to hear the story of how you came across one of my friends' home and teleportation circle. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Navara Rothen.
Ah, so you're not Mr. Ghost.
No, I am not Vera. No,
Is
but
she indeed lost to the world?
Vela's whereabouts are, well,
More accurately, I guess, are whenabouts.
when would probably be more accurate. Yes.
I have her notes.
Then she did it. Or at least she's no longer here to gloat.
It's kind of hard to follow. She seemed to have a very chaotic style of note taking. But
He was a very chaotic person. Heart of gold. Incredibly funny and brilliantly minded, but chaotic would be the right word.
That's the vibe we got. We were traveling in near towards Midtown and stumbled upon a village that had been plagued by ghosts. Apparently Vila had tried to help someone or something up there, but hadn't been able to. We managed to whatever it was that she started, we managed to finish it, and the spirits were laid to rest. And in the process, we sort of stumbled upon her house.
And didn't break in, if that's what you're wondering.
No,
It was a very nice house.
Yeah, the door invited us in.
And then
I'm
there was
surprised. I did warn her that giving a door sentience was not her best idea, but Vila did what Vila wanted to do, and
It's a very nice door.
Very nice tavern room, by the way. Very nice tavern room.
That the house is remarkable. She really was an incredible practitioner. But curiosity, and I'm guessing you can understand and appreciate the mind of an adventurer based on the notes that I've read.
I can.
Yes. Took the liberty to kind of explore and stumbled upon the research she had been doing and these pages that had a number of teleportation circles, including the one here.
It's nice to see that after all this time, she's still affecting the world in her own chaotic way.
Well, the truly brilliant ones will continue to affect the world long after they're gone.
Indeed. Indeed. Would have been nice if she told me she was leaving our network up, but there we go. Eva was never one to do things by halves. And
Wait, you didn't know the network in your own house was working?
I knew some of the circles were still active. I've used them myself. I didn't realize our network was still up. The one that she set up when we parted ways, so that we all may keep in contact and visit.
So all of these circles then lead to people that you traveled with?
They do. They lead to our... Yes, they do.
Are there any that we should probably avoid? Not that I want to be intrusive on anyone, it's just we're in the middle of doing something real important and it's very convenient.
Well, Octavian's, he's going to go silent for a minute.
I thought that was why she went back
Yeah,
in time.
He was dead.
Yeah, he's no longer with us. His portal led to Nushan, though she probably changed it when he disappeared.
Okay, it's still in the book.
Brox, he passed on a few years back. Oh no, decades. Time is something that I don't really consider much at the moment. He moved back to Ran to help set up his monastery.
And he's gone as well?
Yes, he passed on 4 decades now. I would say stay away from Nora. But that's only because she is a ball of chaotic energy, and if you were to appear in her house, she'd probably throw a rage, and she looks cute, but she's one angry little halfling. Even in her
back.
You might try, but even in her old age, Nora is still one of the scariest people I've ever come across.
Where's she?
You should try living our lives.
She moved back to Keshav.
Nora, okay.
The rest of the circles all lead to official places.
Okay.
Great, more things we have to talk our way out of.
Sorry, what did this lady say her name was again?
So there was Brock, Nora. They're the ones the ones on the other continent, and then Octavian's one, which was in Nushan.
Yeah. And what was her name?
She introduced herself as Navara, Navara.
Cool. Just putting down names next to teleportation circles.
I'm guessing we recognize her from some of the pictures in DeCosta's house. Can they have pictures
you
of
do.
an adventuring party?
Yeah. Navara was one of the people in some of the pictures.
Seems like you all lived very exciting lives.
We did, for a time. ventured together, became friends.
If you don't mind me asking, what was your specialty?
Mine, I was my monastery taught me discipline, fighting, and look at things beyond the physical plane.
So you're a monk.
In a way, yes. Not an active member of the monastery anymore. That life I left behind. But I still practice. And I live a much more peaceful life now. Not so much violence and giant tentacled monsters.
Yeah. Well,
Sounds like a pretty sweet gig after what we've been through.
yeah.
Yes, you will have the look of bitter defeat about you.
Thanks.
It shows, does it?
She's not wrong.
I'm not bitter.
I'm not bitter, I'm angry. And
I'm not bitter.
also slightly depressed that I may have got like a whole bunch of people killed. But
I'm not bitter about it. He was a pussy and ran away before I could finish him. Bastard.
alright, calm down,
John, he would have killed us all.
And it sent a lot of perhaps unexpressed anger and sadness, and I am sorry for that.
I don't know if I don't know if it would mean anything to you at all or not. We yesterday had a run-in with someone who called themselves the Everchosen. But
Sorry, that doesn't ring a bell.
nasty. He was trying to bring about a second calamity.
That does not sound good.
Nope,
No shit.
Nah.
it's not good at all.
As much fun as it would be to explain the whole history to you, we kind of need to go to stop said second calamity from happening.
I'm
Don't let me keep you.
bit blunt, but yes, we.
No, that's fine. I
Lot of
don't
work.
mind
Not
blunt
known
at
for
all.
being nice.
She kind of looks around and goes, mutters under her breath, kind of, I swear, Vida, if this is a trick to get me back out there, I will. She kind of looks at all of you and goes, feel free to use my circle again. Just notify me before you arrive.
I can send a message beforehand.
That would suffice.
Yeah. If we had known, then we would have done that this time.
Yes, we apologise for the intrusion.
No apology needed, no harm, no foul. I sense that this is either the universe or Fila from wherever she is just checking up on me.
Oh, it's not a bad thought, I guess.
No. Anyway, I shall let you two go about your business.
Thanks for the tea.
And for
Thanks for not shooting us on sight.
Yes.
and for the understanding.
When you get to be my age, understanding, it's more down to experience than anything else in my younger days, I may well have shot you on sight.
Good to know. Someone after my own heart.
Well, here's to being older and wiser.
Indeed. So
Let's hope we all get there.
let's hope so. And she kind of leans back in her chair and goes back to her book. Not kind of like deliberately ignoring you, but I'm not acknowledging that you guys need to leave, and she kind of wants to be left alone now.
That's fine. All right, let's get moving.
We're going somewhere north.
We're heading a bit further north, yeah.
If we went south, we'd be doing a hell of a lot of swimming.
Yeah, there's not really anywhere south of here.
Which
No.
which way are we going? We're going to
Kirk's Ground.
Cook's Ground. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that's
My
coming
old
east of-
stomping ground.
Yeah, let's avoid the Nasari Empire at least for now.
Mm.
Just because we accidentally started a war.
Free.
To be fair, you kind of just accelerated the war that was already going to happen.
Mm.
Also,
Aside from Ruscum, I don't think they like us.
don't like loudly announce that wherever we go.
Just because we started a war. Why not? I want to fight someone.
Yeah, Navarra kind of like looks up and goes, "Wait, you guys did what?"
Nothing.
It's
It's a figure of speech.
figure of speech.
Northern
Yeah.
saying.
This was
It's a
before I
northern
joined.
saying.
I mean, it's a figure of speech, aside from the fact that it very much definitely happened. But you know,
It's a no.
Speech
It's
to
a.
find someone that's touching.
Hey.
it wasn't my fault, guys.
Let's go. Let's go.
This,
Bernard, her butler, leads you back out through the house, and out the front door into this little kind of closed, fenced off area. This kind of like a U-shaped driveway almost, and leads you to the gates. And he doesn't shove you, but he politely pushes you out of the gate. And kind of
High five! High five!
he just kind of closes the gate and walks back inside.
Well,
and you
I
guys are on the busy and cobbled streets of Port Delinquois. The buildings around you are well decorated and vibrantly painted.
Are there urchins?
Oh God!
Hubert,
Make a perception check.
We all know where this is going.
I cast blindness on Hubert.
No, you don't know that he's looking for urchins.
I don't actually do. I don't have it prepared. I don't think.
I can imagine
That's
Hubert.
volleyball for Hubert.
Don't freak Hubert out entirely.
What am I rolling for? Perception.
Perception.
I'm gonna cast Hunter's Mark on Hubert.
11.
That's good.
11.
I forgot it did tracking.
He's just
I-
looking around. He's not like actively searching.
Yeah, but as I come out and see this massive city, sprawling
right.
city, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna cast Hunter's Mark on Hubert.
Okay, how long does it last for?
At second level, so it lasts 8 hours.
It lasts 8 hours. Okay.
That's actually not such a bad thought.
Um,
We decided to lowjack the barbarian.
literally, the next step is just a giant version of those baby harnesses.
Yeah. It's just Hubert on a leash by the end of the campaign.
hey, don't. My fighter has put a kobold on a leash before. Just no, you're not going anywhere.
We should do that.
Who would be walking Hubert though? Who would have the leash?
Marisk.
Yeah, Marisk would have the
He's
leash.
the only one
I-
who stands a chance against Hubert's strength.
I actually think. What is Marisk's strength?
Surely it's got to be like John though. What's
Yeah.
John's strength?
John's strength's probably the next highest.
My strength. Do you want the plus number or the number and the small number?
The big number.
Yeah, the big number, not the plus.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, no, my strength is 20 then.
20. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, John
What's
is definitely.
Maris?
Oh, Maris' strength only 13.
So Marina's actually stronger than Maris.
What?
Marina has a 14 in strength.
Wait, what does
Yeah,
Freya-
Marina is a hench wizard.
Marina's strong, yeah. She's quite strong. She spent years carrying really heavy tomes around.
Hubert, you look around and the streets are really busy. And you see kids running about that look like they might be urchins, but you're not sure.
But I will like stop them.
Okay.
Oh God.
And I'll reach into the bag.
Hubert.
Okay.
No, I just will pull out whatever comes out.
Okay. You reach in and you pull out
Jar of
this.
nails.
It's not a jar of nails.
Probably the first thing to give to a child.
Fergus needs a table.
Fergus has a table.
Oh, even better.
You put out a glass orb about maybe 10 centimeters in diameter.
And Hubert just like holds it in front of the child and says, you use.
Yeah. The child kind of takes it, very confused and scared as this enormous half orc just hands him a glass ball.
That's holding a cat in one arm.
Yeah.
With a tail.
With a tail.
With a tail.
And he kind of takes it and goes, "Thank you," and books it in the opposite direction.
That seems about right, doesn't it? Hubert, what the hell are you doing?
Giving useful gifts to urchins.
Okay, that is a bag of crap.
I don't.
They do not need your glass.
Lady say magic.
The bag is magic. Hubert, I think it needs to be explained because I don't think you've realized not every child is an urchin.
And not every urchin wants a glass ball.
Yeah, I think some children might like little knickknacks.
Or a jar of nails.
To be fair, all Hubert did was just hand this kid the largest marble in history. But
it's gonna have a great story to tell now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
no one will believe it.
Some children actually have homes and families. They're not urchins.
I've just realised something. Hubert is the shittiest Santa in the world. He's just going around giving junk to children. He's the shittiest D&D Santa.
That's perfect. That is.
He means well. He means well.
Listen, Hubert. We're trying to get places without being arrested all the time because, I mean, you already got yourself put in the drunk tank and I somehow ended up in the stocks, which, okay, that's on me. But we're trying to get through the rest of this as smoothly as possible so that we can get there faster and not have everyone in the world die. So
how me give gift end up me in jail?
Because the police or the guards think you're kidnapping children.
Because it's a little strange, Hubert, when a full-grown man hands children something. But
It's just
hands
not what
children
people
that
do.
he doesn't know something. Doesn't matter what it is. It looks a bit strange, okay? And we know that you're a good person and you're just trying to be nice, but that's not always the case, and some people won't see it that way.
Hubert not stop do good things.
No, I don't want you to stop doing good things. It's just.
How about you do good things for us as a party, and you leave everyone else alone?
Okay. And he reaches in his bag and holds out whatever it is to Free.
Hubert holds out in front of you a wooden splinter about that long.
You
That's
use.
actually- Yeah, that I can actually use that. She takes that and puts it in her pack.
I feel like I really need to find a magic shop now to get the spell catapult just to make that purchase worthwhile for Hubert.
Just get Hubert a slingshot.
That'd be cuter.
Just imagine Hubert slingshotting a jar of nails. That's how we kill the end boss at the end of the campaign.
It would go like
It's a slingshot. He's got a 10-pound stone.
I love this game so much.
How long ago were the chickens summoned?
what?
The chickens never arrived.
It was a rabbit.
It was a rabbit.
It was a rabbit.
Oh, I thought it was a rabbit with the chickens.
No,
Oh,
no
it was
chickens
just
appeared. It was just the rabbit.
Can I try summoning chickens again?
Sure. Roll a d100.
I love this. Oh, I need to get my actual 100-sided die because that would be perfect for this.
Oh my god.
37. Uh-oh. That's remarkably close to what it was last time.
That's exactly what it was last time, wasn't
No,
it?
it's
39
39.
No, it was a 39 last
Oh,
time.
it was a 39. I thought it was a 37.
No, it was...
Is it a rabbit?
Oh no, never
It is
good.
the rabbit, isn't it?
that's never a good start when it's just laughter.
So, you... Oh, no. You point the one down at the ground and do your little flourish. And an iridescent rabbit appears and looks around very, very cross. And as he kind of looks up to you,
It's the same one.
he goes, oh, for fuck's sake, what do you want? He's...
What the fuck? Why do you keep appearing?
No, you keep summoning me.
I don't know how this thing works, okay? I don't even know what it is. I apparently stole it while I was drunk and I just woke up and it was here. So, what the hell are you?
What? He just looks very, very confused and very cross. He goes, wow, I was enjoying a nice meal with the family, but now I'm fucking here in the material rain. And do you know what? I don't appreciate it.
As a family.
And he's gonna reach out and he's gonna touch you with his paw and he's gonna cast bestow curse.
What?
So I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Frey has just become the worst cold cooler in history.
This Frey rabbit is fucking
Unnatural 20.
as the rabbit touches you, you feel like this cold sense come over you. And you kind of shake it off. But you feel like he was trying to do something horrible to you.
I kicked the rabbit.
He is pissed. He kind of stands up on his hind legs, looks you dead in the eye, goes, all right, that's it, lady. And as he comes charging at you, he vanishes again. You've made an enemy in the Feywilds now. Just so you are aware, there is a rabbit in the Feywilds that wants to murder you.
Oh shit!
Oh no!
Guys, what?
Why
Marina,
did you kick him?
because he tried to curse me. All right, pull yourself together.
We've broken Matt. Matt's been broken.
I broke Matt. Yes.
You
At the
pulled him out of his home while he was having dinner with his family. He tried to curse you and you responded by kicking him. The poor
Yeah, that's a logical chain of events, right?
I like that. I like that at the beginning of this game, Matt was crying because of the emotion, and at the end of the game, he's crying with laughter. D&D's great, guys.
Oh.
Don't
So,
do
you're
drugs.
a magic
Just play
person.
D&D.
What the hell? What the hell? What?
Ray, don't use the rod anymore, please.
You know what? If I had any charges left, I would use it right now. Just to piss you off.
And oh, could you imagine if it was the rabbit again?
TPK for a pissed off Feargus rabbit.
That'd be the worst way to TPK.
That'd be so funny.
Fucking funny. As you guys stand in the middle of Port Devonquoise streets,
Oh yeah, we're doing this in public.
having attracted a bit of a crowd with your Fey Rabbit performance, we're gonna call the session there.
Oh, do we get any money for being entertaining then? Do they think that she's a bard?
You find out next time.
I would just like to put a disclaimer saying, as a human and a player, I would never actually kick a rabbit. It's just exactly the kind of thing Frey would do.
No, it's
That was perfectly in character.
Very on point.
yes. So thank everyone.
Thank you everybody
Matt, you okay?
for watching. I hope you all had as much fun as Matt clearly had.
I had
It's
loads
a
of fun.
long day.
Because Matt's clearly had a lot of fun. And yeah, join us not next week. We are off air next week. As real world things are getting in the way.
Yeah, but
by real world things,
by real world things, you mean you want to do something else?
No, hold on, no.
Being a traitor with a different game.
I double booked myself
with your own campaign.
Yes.
It's not like you could forget that you were doing something on a Friday. You've been doing this every Friday for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
No, okay, right. Let's not get bogged down about who double booked who.
Traitor.
Well, no, because it was all you.
Yeah, because you double booked you.
That's irrelevant to the point. The point is we're off air next week.
We're not on for next week. We are on,
but we will be back the following week.
We are on the following week. We are on Sunday with GM's chat, and we are on Tuesday with Homebrew Labs. So come see us again then, and we'll have a good time with that as well, I'm sure.
We will.
And sign up to my one shot when it goes live.
Yes, sign up for Isabel's
I actually need players to be able to run a game.
You'll get players.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you will get players. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and we will catch you all next time.